Click on the URL that is provided and it'll take you to this login screen. Once you're here, you can use one of the logins for any of the units that you are on for the day. Here is a list of all the units and usernames and passwords that you can use to sign into the program. Depending on which truck you're on for the day and what your assignment is, you can use any one of these to log in. They all will do the exact same thing. There is no difference. I used Rescue 48's login. Once you have the username and password, just hit sign in. You'll come to a screen that looks like a map with the city limits of Oviedo. On there, you will see some of the commercial complexes that are already done. In order to do the PFP that is assigned to you, you will go to the top left of the screen and search the address like you would on Google Maps. I'm going to type in 735 South Central, and as you type, it'll come up. Go to the address that correlates to your PFP and click it. Your building should load. Once your building loads, you could leave it as is, or you can go to the top right of the screen and click the layer list and scroll all the way down to the bottom and select 2021 aerial. And then hit the X and it changes it to aerial. Now that you found your building and you decided what view you wanted to look at, you can now go to this left side of the screen and zoom in or zoom out by using the plus sign or minus buttons on the left side of the screen. So here I will zoom in to the station. As you can see, some of the markings are already popping up that we did, and this is what you're going to be able to see on your MDT when you're responding to a call. The building that you do your PFP on will not have any of these markings on it, and it is going to be your responsibility to add these markings. This is what I was talking about in the email about inputting the information correctly. The more thorough you are, the better it'll be in the future, because we'll actually be able to see exactly where everything is. So we're able to list the alpha side of the building. We're able to list where the electrical rooms are, where the Knox keys are located, where the the elevators. Here's the generator. We got entrances here and entrances here. Gas shutoff, water shutoff, FDC hookups. And we're gonna do this for all the buildings. So that way when you show up to any commercial structure, you know exactly where you need to park your truck for whatever assignment is given to you. Okay, so we just went to station 48 and it is not done. So we are going to start showing you how to input some of the markings on here. If you have any questions on anything, you could always go to this I button, and this is going to give you all the markings, and you could hit the collect feature help for PDF, and it'll bring you down to a page that has all the information on everything that is required, how to do it, how to work the system, and it's going to be a way more in-depth informational guide than what this video is going to be. Okay, so although this program can do a lot, we are only going to be using it for putting the markers on. And it's very simple. There is already a set amount of markers that we can use, and all you have to do is click and drag it. This is going to drop it exactly where the mouse gets put. So if you have a Knox box and you need to put it on the front corner of the station, make sure that the mouse actually goes to the front corner of the station. Don't just click it and drop it, you know, over here in these bushes, because as you zoom in to the screen, the Knox box won't be in the right spot. The water shutoffs won't be in the same spot. So make sure that when you put these markers down, you put them as closely to their true geographical location as you can, and that's just going to help us all out in the future when we zoom in and try to find it on the way to a call. Okay, so now we're all logged in. We found our address for our PFP, and we are ready to start dropping markers. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here to this box right here, the edit box, okay? And we're going to click on the edit box. It will automatically drop down with the markers that we can drop. Some of these you'll use and some of them you won't use. Like I said, it's just preset markers that are in here. If your building has these, then put them on there. If your building doesn't have them, then don't worry about them. You will not use all of these markers on every building, but some buildings may require more markers than others depending on their complexity. So what I like to do is just start from the top and scroll my way down. So one of the very first things you see on here is marking the building's alpha side. In order to do that, you're going to click on here, and once you click it, it selects it, and you'll come to the alpha side of the building and stay a little bit away from the building on this one because you're going to have other things around the building's edge, so you don't want it to overlap. So you come out here, it could be closer to the street or by the driveway here, it doesn't really matter, and you're just going to click on there and it'll auto populate an alpha side. You know it's working because this is blue down here and it's thinking. Once this goes away, the alpha side should pop up on the screen. Okay, so the blue went away, the alpha side just popped up here. It is pinned with a red dot on the screen, and it's going to ask you for some questions. You could hit the drop down buttons and you can type whatever is pertinent to your building. Is there immediate access? Is there delayed access? There's notes, so you could say, this building is alpha sided, but it's not the address side or the street side, but this is the alpha side based on whatever the situation is. So you could write notes, and this is going to be the same for every marker that you drop. You're going to have the ability to write notes in there, and then you're going to scroll all the way down and you're going to hit close when you're done. And once you hit close, you'll see the red dot there. It'll still take about 30 seconds or so for it to actually populate an A on there. As we keep going, you'll see that the alpha side actually pops up right where that red marker is. All right, so now that we did the alpha side, the next one down is simply entries. So where are we going to be able to make entry from the building? So I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit closer to the building using the plus sign here. That's just going to make my life a little bit easier when I go to mark things down. So I'm going to select entry by clicking it, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make my access point right where the front door is. So I'm going to click right there and it'll load. Give it a second. The blue line here is thinking. So it's thinking, and then it'll have the blue line go away and the box will pop up where I can make comments. There it is. So access was marked right there. Again, I can type, any notes that I want in the notes box. I can click down, and accessibility, is it usable or non-usable? This one would be usable, so this is just something that would be there. When you go to a call, you'll be able to zoom in over that marker and it'll pop up with usable entrance versus non-usable entrance. Okay, so that's still going to take a little bit to load the arrow. It'll be a green arrow just like this, and the alpha side will be purple A. It looks just like that on the map. So I'm going to click it again because I'm going to do another entrance. So I'm going to click it again, and I'm going to do an entrance back here, which is where the code is. Again, it's thinking. Okay, it popped up. Access, usable. I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna hit close. All right, so now we have the front door. See, that one populated already with the green arrow. we got the back door, which is right now the red dot till it populates. And I'm gonna do the third one back here where the sliding or the screen enclosure is. I'm just gonna click there. Again, blue line signifies that it's thinking. And when it's done, a drop will pop up. Once the drop pops up, it'll let you put your input in and you can make whatever notes you want. There it is. Accessibility, usable. This auto saves also. And I'm gonna close it. So if you have a call and you have to go, this will automatically save everything that you do. Now, if you wanna keep going and make your other entry door here, or you know, whatever else you wanna add, you're more than welcome to mess around with it. I'm gonna move on. If we had a gate, you know, same thing. I'd come over here, click the gate, and I would mark it right here, signifying that entering this complex, you're run into a gate there. And as I scroll down through here, you'll see Knox box locations. You'll see access issues for roof and attic. You'll see stairs, whether they're outward staircases, pressurized staircases. If there's an elevator present, you can hit the E for elevator. Any tanks that are below or above ground. So if we had, you know, an above ground LP tank, you know, you would click on that one. You'd come over here on this back delta side of the building where it's located, and you would just click on that. And again, the blue line's thinking, which means it's processing. And when the drop box happens, it'll tell you, you know, what kind of gas it is or what the size is, and you'll just be able to update it as you want. And then we're just going to continue this process. Here it is. You know, you can see tank capacity and everything else that's going on. If you're not sure, you could just leave it blank and just hit close. It's not critical for you to put notes. It just would be beneficial to help us in the future to know what we're kind of going into when we run into a scene. But again, not necessary that you put notes. And then we'll just keep going through here. If there's any special hazards, if there's any FDC locations or sprinklers, you would just click on it. Fire pump room, risers, if there was a drafting spot, a generator, definitely try to put in all the electrical shutoffs, water shutoffs, things that are pertinent for us. It'd be nice to know on some of the large commercial structures where the fire alarm panels are. Sometimes we're finding those or have a hard time finding them. And, you just keep going through until you get all the way to the bottom. And once you get all the way to the bottom, and you have put in all the markers that are applicable to that building, then you're done with the PFP on that building. And then, like I said, it auto saves it, so you don't have to do anything from here. Once you're done with this building, if you wanted to go to a different building, you would just come here and you would just type in, whatever building it is, and it'll take you to your next PFP, and it saved the previous one. Very simple. So the whole goal is for you guys to see something like this on your maps whenever you're going to a commercial structure fire or a mechanical alarm or whatever the situation is, to where you're able to zoom in onto that complex and see exactly where the markers are located, and that'll be able to dictate where your unit has to park for whatever assignment is given to them. This is going to load a little bit faster once it's on the MDTs. And what's happening here is this is the City of Oviedo's GIS mapping. So once we complete these mappings every couple of weeks, the lady is going to upload the new mapping with the new markers in there to the county, and the county will update it on the county's GIS, and that will make it to the MDTs on the truck. So as we're working over the next couple of years, updating all of our buildings, we'll start seeing buildings pop up that are already done on our mapping system when we run commercial mechanical alarms or structure fires or whatever the situation is. Other than that, that's about it. You guys are going to definitely have to get on here and mess around a little bit with it. But like I said, this video is pretty straightforward. And if you have any questions, you could just rewatch the video. It tells you how to mark everything, and it's pretty easy to do. And if you want more of an in-depth guide, remember you can come here and press the I, and that'll give you a drop down to the collect feature help, which will bring you a PDF with more than enough information that you need to figure out how to run this whole system. But it's pretty self-explanatory once you get on there and mess around with it. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach me.